This is Conversations with Paycheck and Red, a weekly podcast with two good old boys talking about anything and everything that crosses their mind. You may not know what you're going to get with an episode of Paycheck and Red, but you sure know you don't want to miss it. So do what you got to do. Download the app, find the episodes online, and make sure that you don't miss 1 second of Conversations with Paycheck and Red.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. I'm Paycheck, and as always, I'm with my boy Red.
What's up, party people?
So what's going on? How's things? How's life?
Oh, same old shit, man. Working, paying the bills, you know.
Yeah. You're so fucking boring.
Sorry.
Can't you make shit up?
Well,
let's try it sometime. Let's make something up real quick. So what's up, man? How's things? How's life?
Pretty good. I went to the moon today.
All right, moving on. Today's episode is brought to you by Red's Bong Rips, keeping clear eyes in business since 420. Take it away, Red. Sam, what you got? What you got? Some of that old sticky icky?
Mm-hmm. The stickiest of ickies.
Let me smell your fingers.
There you go.
So, how's my week, man?
How you doing this week?
My week's it's awesome, man. Awesome. Can't complain. Nothing to complain about. All is good. I got some Harley riding time in today. I'm on vacation.
Didn't we just go on vacation?
Yeah, well, I kind of
Truck
fucked
drivers
that
don't
up.
get that many vacations in a year, Paycheck.
No, the family went on a week's vacation down to Madeira Beach. We got a timeshare down there. But I could only stay Saturday and had to come back Sunday and had to work all week. And then when they came back, I'm not really on vacation. I'm actually unemployed at the moment. Like, I'm not unemployed. Like, I have a job. I'm in between jobs. I put my 2-week notice in and I started at another job. It's this whole family business thing. But I purposely left 1 week because I got a lot of shit going on here at the house I need to take care of, and
Right.
I need a little bit of downtime. I've been working I've been working 70 hours a week, man. It's fucking killing me.
Damn. I was
Yeah.
going to say, we don't get paid to do this. You can't just quit your job just yet.
No, but man, a man can dream, can't he?
Right.
So yeah, I just plan to ride the Harley a little bit, jerk off a little bit, watch some TV a little bit, and of course, the honey-do list just keeps getting fucking longer and longer. So,
Oh yeah, you never get done with the honey-do list.
no, I told the wife, I said, I'll probably knock one of these motherfuckers off. So what are we talking about today?
I think we're going to touch a little bit on some Southern accents, some Southern dialect, maybe even some Southern culture, some Southern slang. We're just going to go Southern on their asses tonight, I guess.
Well, see, that word itself is Southern. So when we talk about accents, it's well, you live in you're from South Carolina. I'm from South Georgia. So, I mean, but the accents and the words we use, they're fairly similar, to a certain extent, wouldn't you say?
I would say, yeah.
Like you don't talk funny to me. Do I talk funny to you?
No.
You, pretty damn normal to me.
Yeah. I mean, when I go to even as close by as Virginia, right below me where I'm living at in West Virginia here, they talk different than I do, just one state over. So,
well, Well, Georgia has I'm from Georgia, but I live in Florida, and I know I have somewhat of a Southern drawl. But when I go home to Waycross, Georgia, like my cousins, it's a little thicker. So I guess it's really about, if you've never left this. Say you live in the Southeast, and that's really the only thing I can speak on as far as Southern accents or whatnot.
Right.
But if you've never left that town, I imagine that your accent or your drawl is going to be pretty fucking thick, right?
Right.
As opposed to someone like me who is Southern, and but I've traveled the world and everything, so like I know that, you know, talking to some of my family members, that my Southern accent isn't as thick as theirs is.
Right.
So I guess it's a lot of different factors, you know, are considered when we're talking about Southern draws, and you know, like you and I were talking about, you being from South Carolina, me being from Georgia, and just to make sure that we understand each other. There's a F in there, right? South Carolina. It's not a South with a TH, right?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's South Carolina.
Right. Yeah.
So I did some research on accents and Southern draws, and yeah, I don't mean any disrespect when I say Yankee talk or Yankee accent. That's how I know it. You know, I don't know how else to say it. But there's I guess it's a website, or I'm not sure. It's called YouGov. They asked 1,216 Americans over the age of 18 about their favorite accent. And the question that they asked these people were, which American region or city do you think has the most attractive accent? Where do you think, who do you think come in at number one?
Man, I'm gonna have to show love to some South Carolina.
Well, kinda, you know, but the problem is that you left out North Carolina, Georgia.
Oh, this is a regional thing. This isn't a state thing?
Well, no, well, the number one region or city that these 1,216 people thought was the most attractive, at 18% coming in at number one, was the Southeast.
Okay.
So that offers the question, well, what about fucking what let's go west a little bit. What's west, but west of us, but not considered the Southeast?
Mississippi?
Yeah, and see, before I would have said anything in the SEC.
Right.
But then there's all kind of shit in the fucking SEC these days. Missouri's in the fucking SEC, for crying out loud.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of upset about that.
Yeah, so we can't even, you know, because college ball is pretty big down here in the Southeast. They vote.
Right. Yeah. I love you some SEC.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go. So let's use Mississippi as an example, and we'll go, you know, further west. But being a truck driver, I've traveled every state in this fucking country. I've literally taken a piss on the side of the road. Now that's illegal. That's indecent exposure for all y'all that don't know. So be careful pulling your dick out on the side of the road, because you will get a ticket.
Yeah.
I didn't get a ticket, but I know that though. Right. But anyway, you know, I've been around and I've been to all these different states and I've traveled the world, and I know that people who live in Mississippi have a different slang or accent than we do over here in the Southeast. Same thing with Louisiana. But once you get past Louisiana, things change a little bit. So where we're at, we're considered country, right? But is Texas considered country?
It depends on how you define country.
Well, see, and yeah, absolutely, good point. And that goes to the whole. Okay, so now I live in North Florida, so I'm literally a hop, skip, and 2 jumps from Georgia.
Right.
So it's when we think country, we think backwoods, four wheelers, pickup trucks, shooting guns, dipping, moonshine, deer meat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that what you consider? Is that country to you? We're in South Carolina, West Virginia.
Yeah. I mean, the term hillbilly is real common up here, and I guess.
Whoa, dude, super offensive.
I didn't use it in an offensive manner. I just said the term hillbilly.
Yeah, you might as well have said the word redneck, in my opinion.
I didn't call you a hillbilly, motherfucker. I'm just saying the word hillbilly, quote unquote. Is that better?
He said, quote. Did you do your little two fingers up, too?
I did.
So gay.
The term hillbilly is it's quote unquote is pretty popular up here, and and to me, it's just like the word redneck. We talk about sometimes how the word redneck is a little offensive to both of us, but the term hillbilly up here is even more offensive to some people because it still describes the lowly and uneducated, the not so well off communities. But I try not to put myself in any kind of category. I'm just a Southern man. I'm just a country boy. You know what I mean? I don't really. I mean, I guess that's putting a label on it, but then it's kind of not, because that's just what I am. You know what I mean? I was raised in the South. I'm from the country, out in the sticks. So I just consider myself a good old Southern country boy. But I guess you could make that a label too. I guess. I mean, I'm not real sure, but.
Well, you made a good point. You know, the whole reason I deem hillbilly and redneck offensive is because, in my opinion, those words refer to uneducated cousin fucking.
Whoa!
What?
Whoa! You're gonna say the word hillbilly is offensive, but you can just throw cousin fucking out there and nobody ever say nothing?
Well, I mean, when in Rome, you know what I mean?
See, now I'm taking offense to that right now. Because I feel like that was a jab at where I live at.
No, but, your objection is noted and disregarded.
All right, so getting back to this list that you're talking about, so what's number 2?
Well, this one is it's a little it threw me off a little bit, but at the same time, because I have traveled and just real quick, just a quick little backstory. When I was a long haul truck driver, I was on a dedicated run for Walmart, so I would literally pick up produce in California, and I'd run it all the way to the East Coast, whether it's North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. So for the most part, I'd run slap through Texas. So Texas, all by its fucking self, came in at number 2 because you know that old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. So let's see.
Yeah, but they also say there ain't but 2 things that come from Texas.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Steers and queers.
Steers and queers. Well, the Southeast came in at first at 18%. The second most attractive region, according to these 1,216 Americans, Texas came in at 12%.
12%.
So that makes me wonder, how is a Texas accent different from a Southeastern accent?
Well, it's funny you should ask that question, Paycheck.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because we have our very first ever guest on the Paycheck and Red podcast.
Hey, round of applause, everybody. Round of applause. Yay!
We have made a landmark episode here. We have with us our sister from another mister, a really good friend of ours from Texas.
Texas?
Texas. This is Mayla from Texas.
What's up, Mayla? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Paycheck. Hey, Red. It's good to be here, man. I'm just tickled to death. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. It's our pleasure. So Texas, huh?
Texas. They say everything's bigger in Texas, but have you ever seen the grasshoppers in Arizona? Them fuckers are huge. Yeah. So talking about how we talk, man. Texas is pretty big. You got the northern part of Texas, you got a lot of woods, and you got West Texas, a lot of desert. You get further down, you got the Gulf. Right now, I'm in East Texas, the pines, the red dirt, Nacogdoches. There's separation in dialect just in Texas. So I kind of wonder where the fuck those people went.
So wait a minute. Let me get this straight. In this list that you have, Paycheck, the Southeast as a region is number 1.
Yep.
Texas, all by its fucking self, gets number 2. Why not make the Middle East or the Midwest, not the Middle East, the Midwest? Why not make it a region and say it's number 2? Why Texas got to have their own damn thing, man?
Well, I put it to you this way. Now, it depends on which interstate you're traveling through Texas. Now, I-10, you can get through Texas. I hope I'm not fucking up. Mela, help me out here now if I'm wrong now. I remember it depended on which interstate, because I've traveled I-10, I-20, I-40. I think, no. I-10 and 20, right?
Yeah, I know 20 for sure. I'm just a few miles from it. I-10 goes.
Well, which one? Which I know. So when I was long haul, it was a team truck, and no bullshit. I remember. Okay, so as a team truck, that truck never stops running except for the fuel and switch drivers. So I remember I entered Texas and I drove 11 hours. I pulled over. I went to bed. My co-driver got in and he drove for 11 hours. I woke up after he drove his 11 hours and we were still in fucking Texas. Okay.
Yeah, I've had the same thing happen to me. I'm from here. You'd think I'd be used to it, but man, it takes forever to get through this motherfucker.
So what stretch of interstate is it that the northern end is you can get through that fairly quickly, right? Because that's the narrow edge of or the narrow part of Texas, right?
You're talking about like Amarillo up in the Panhandle. Yeah, you'll be through there in a blink of an eye. But once you get down towards I-20, I-20 takes you straight into Shreveport, man. If you're taking I-20 all the way across, you're gonna be there a minute. You're gonna be on there a minute.
Red, I'm a little fucking embarrassed. It kind of sounds like her southern drawl is a little thicker than mine, and I'm from fucking South Georgia, son.
Yeah, I'm over here trying to speak all proper, like northern a little bit. Like I feel like I'm not even southern anymore.
Hey, listen, there's only 2 times to speak proper, and that's at a job interview or in criminal court.
You make a good point because some of the real quick. Let me just. We won't spend any time on it. Just let me go through the rest of this list. So as we mentioned, number 1 at 18% was the Southeast region. Number 2, all by itself, was Texas at 12%. Third was the New York and Boston area at 7% each. Coming in at 4th was the Midwest and West Coast. They tied at 6%. Appalachia came in at 5th at 3%. And coming in at dead last, apparently they only went to 6. But Chicago came in at 2%. But Mela, you make a good point about okay, so I want to ask you guys, I want to ask both of you this. Does the way you talk change at work, at court? Is there a time where it's not appropriate for you to emphasize your Southern accent?
Oh, absolutely. I'm constantly reminded not to say the word fuck at work. Listen, here's the thing. I don't believe that there are bad words. All right. I picked this up off a guy talking who's a single dad raising his kids. This is before my youngest 2 were born. And he had this theory that that's how he was going to, teach his kid that there were no bad words, but there were words for adults and there were words for children, And I really liked that. I really took to that. But, free speech, American rights, and all that other kind of stuff, there are still some places where people prefer you not to say the word fuck, shit, hell, damn, motherfucker. Church is probably one of them.
Yeah, probably.
I'd
say probably.
keeping in mind that we all have personas, not necessarily personas, we're still the same person, but we're one way at home, we're one way, at work. It's a place where you spend a third of your daily life, and so you do become integrated, but there's still, certain things that you may or may not say or do, in that environment. And then there's, like we said, when you're having to present yourself, you're going to clean it up.
Well, I mean, I think, but everybody has a telephone voice.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you're calling for a job interview, or you're calling to talk to the doctor or whatever, you have that. You go from hell, shit, damn, and motherfuckers to, oh yes, excuse me, I'd like to make an appointment for whatever. I mean, you get all proper, but
exactly. Your parole officer, things like that. You just act right.
When I'm at work, I'm red. You know what I mean? I talk just like this. I don't change anything. When I'm at home, I mean, I'm still red, but I'm also daddy, and I'm also my wife's husband. So, I mean, she knows the real me, but, I try to carry myself a little different in the house. I mean, I still act crazy and cut up and all that, but I am who I am. I talk how I talk, but, like I say, everybody has what I call a telephone voice. But, yeah, I think there's a time and a place to let your Southern flag fly, I think.
Well,
yeah, well, and here's the thing, talking about, this is something listening to some of y'all's podcasts, I happen to know that I agree with, and that y'all have the same same ideas about, being products of your environment, and, I can clean up the way I talk. I mean, I'll still have my drawl, and it may not get a stick, kind of like what Paycheck's talking about. If I spend a lot of time, and I have, the places, it tends to kind of dwindle a little bit, but unless you are born and bred Southern, it would take a lifetime to pick up the jargon, the slang that comes with the territory of truly being Southern.
Absolutely.
So you can have a Northern, that can play Scarlett O'Hara, and pick up that, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn accent. But to be able to integrate themselves and actually pick up all the jargon that comes with it, that would take a lifetime. I do believe it's natural culture.
You make a good point, I've seen or heard, I've been around some people where they've tried to pick up, some of this Southern slang and lingo and the word reckon. Now, I don't know. Do they use that in Texas?
I reckon so.
So I had it was a female friend of mine. She wasn't necessarily a Yankee, but she didn't have that. She didn't use words like that. She didn't use words. Real quick, Red, give me one word. Give me one Southern word that you would use on a not necessarily a daily basis, but give the listeners an idea on what a word that we use over here in the Southeast that wouldn't necessarily be used elsewhere.
Oh man, that's easy. I say the word y'all about 500 times a day.
Yeah, but that's somewhat universal. I mean, a lot of people are familiar with that. Give them something that they might not have heard before.
Oh, you mean like a saying or a phrase or just a word?
Yeah, anything that would. I mean, like we already talked about the cattywampus, but any kind of phrase, any kind of word that is strictly Southern, and I guess we'll pinpoint Southeastern, being that that's where you're from.
Well, I also have another favorite, and that is a while ago.
A while ago?
Yeah. It's lazy Southern slang for a while ago. But Southeastern people, Southerners, country people, whatever you want to call them, they say a while ago.
Well,
AWALLAGO. A while ago.
Well, I want to use one, but I also want to tell just a little story about something funny that happened in regards to a Southern drawl. But my favorite one that I get picked on the most is fitna. I'm fitting to go down here to the store. You want something? But a funny story about my southern drawl. So, I happened to live in New Jersey for a short time period, and I knew right away that I had a southern accent. Like, I stuck out like a sore thumb. But I wasn't embarrassed by it, but, you know, I was a little kid and I didn't want to be picked on. So I was going through the school cafeteria, and the cafeteria lady gave me the option of okra or tater tots. Now, to me, tater is country. That's, you know, that's a country word. So I didn't want to come across as some dumb redneck, you know what I mean? So I told the lady I wanted potato tots. And this one, listen, all the way up in New Jersey, Gloucester City. I'm talking about row houses, alleys, the whole nine. She looked at me like I was damn crazy, and she said, "You mean tater tots?" I was like, "Oh, y'all call them? That's what y'all call them up here too?" That's what I want, tater tots. But fitna is mine. That's what I use it often. I don't think about it. I'm fitting to do this, and I'm fitting to do that, and I'm fixing to go there. Mela, what about you?
How about you, Mela? You got a favorite Southern slang word that you use on a daily basis?
Well, I wouldn't say favorite, but definitely one of them that seems to come out a lot is fixing. I'm fixing. And when I went to California, and I was about 16, I spent a little time in California. And, you know, thankfully the people around me, you know, loved and cared about me. But they gave me a hard time over fixing. You know, and I didn't, you know, going to. Well, why? You know, I couldn't even. You know, I'm going to. Why? I'm fixing. I couldn't understand how they had never. I was young. I couldn't understand how they did not understand what fixing meant. I'm fixing to do this. You know,
I say that a lot.
But
I mean, I don't go as far as paycheck here and say fitna.
Are you making fun of me, motherfucker?
Kinda, a little bit.
Appreciate it.
All right. Hey, I got a word though. I got a word that's mine. I think it's mine. Hey, if somebody else is using it, they stole the motherfucker. But mine is bumflangled.
I've never heard that one.
Yeah, that's a new one on me.
Yeah, you know when you get all flustered, you know, when something gets you all flustered, and you know, you start getting a little stretchy, you're bumflangled, man. That's some shit. Of course, that's mine. You know, shit comes out my mouth every day. It even surprises me, I think.
I'm sure that was yours because I've never heard that one. Red, have you heard that one?
No, that's a new one on me, buddy.
All right, well, I'm going to ask you both a question, and it may be offensive to some people, so I'm going to preface it with saying, you know, no offense. So, because I live in Florida, we get immigrants that come up through Florida and they make their way to Georgia, and I've run across some Puerto Ricans, some Cubans, and they pick up the Southern drawl, the Southern accent, you know, when they speak English. Now they're bilingual, so they speak their native language. They also speak English, but their English also comes with that Southern drawl, that Southern accent. Mela, being in Texas, being that close to Mexico, have you ever come across a Mexican that spoke English that also had a Southern English drawl?
Absolutely. We call it Spanglish.
There you go.
It's where it can go both ways, you know. You could be Texas born and bred. If you're from the South Texas down there, you know, where as we're talking about, you know, being products of our environment, where you're around the Hispanic culture, you know, a lot, you're going to pick up their stuff just as well as they're going to pick up yours. So, you know, I can see that. I can see how that would happen. I mean, you know, I work in the customer service industry, and you know, being in Texas, you know, it's huge, and there's a lot of different type of people here. But until they're a regular customer, and I know what their order is, there's a lot of times where, you know, I greet them, and they say, "Huh," and then they tell me what they want, and I say, "Huh," and we just revert to sign language, you know, pointing at stuff, you know, smiling, you know, give them thumbs up on the way out, you know, but. you know, it's just I can see it. I can see how that would happen. Yeah.
Red, y'all don't get too many bilingual immigrants up there towards West Virginia, do you?
No.
What about when you was in South Carolina?
Yeah. I mean, the Hispanic community was everywhere in South Carolina.
Did you ever come across somebody that spoke English and had a Southern drawl on them?
No, I was going to actually say the same thing that Mela did, and they speak that Spanglish, which it's Spanish and English all at the same time. When they're talking to you, they go from Spanish to English all in the same sentence.
Yeah. Well, funny story, but going back to the whole truck driving thing and being long haul, and like I mentioned earlier, you know, we
get it. You're a fucking truck driver.
Yeah. I don't know how many of our listeners, you know, were aware of that. So just to be clear,
I'm pretty sure by now, in the last 30 minutes, every fucking body that listens knows you're a damn truck driver. I promise.
Actually, right now you ain't doing shit. So I'm just putting it back out
I'm unemployed at the moment, but there's been times where we were so close to Mexico that the left side of the interstate was Mexico and the right side was the United States. So I speak a little bit of Spanish, and so the guy that I was my co-driver, he was a good old boy. He was Southern, and you know, he had the old belt buckle, and you know, you know the guy I'm talking about. So we go to this authentic Mexican restaurant. It ain't your Taco Bell. It's like the real deal. So he gets up to the line. He grabs hold of his belt buckle, starts doing the old rocking back and forth like Grandpappy used to do. And he was like, what do y'all put on them there tortillas? So is that the kind of guy that has never left his small town and literally don't know that it's tortilla?
I guess. Well, maybe he doesn't watch TV. Maybe.
Right?
No. No, I think it's a guy with a sense of humor.
So on, you know, with the whole Southern drawl and you know, the Southern accents and the geographical location, so in Texas, is Texas considered country?
Well, like I said earlier, man, I think it kind of depends on what part of Texas you're in. I mean, it's the South, but you got West Texas, who's going to, you know, resemble more of a New Mexico or, you know, even Arizona in that area, you know, and you got North Texas, you know, which the whole river runs down, and you know, you got your woods, you know, you're down in the woods, and over here in East Texas, you got it's just you're closer to Louisiana. You got more of it's thicker, you know, it's deeper. And then, like I said, down there by the Gulf, it's just a whole different story. I think it just depends. I think North Texas and East Texas, you know, North Central and East Texas, I definitely say
So is it safe to say that neither one of y'all have ever used the expression "use guys"?
Oh, like in Pennsylvania, use guys? Yeah. No, I haven't used it. It's hard for me to use.
In Pennsylvania, it's yens.
Yens or Ewans?
I think it's yens.
See that?
You sure it ain't yens?
So do you think y'all, like that sounds crazy to me, yens or Ewans? Do you think y'all sounds crazy to them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the people in New York, you know, they're around so many different types of people, you know, being a hub and whatnot. You know, it's not that they have a problem with anything. And believe me, when I get excited, I can talk pretty fast too. But accents aside, you know, they're not making eye contact. They're not Southern hospitality, you know, they don't have that in them, you know, and they're there to take care of business, you know, and they're talking fast. For them to wait for me to finish a sentence, you can see the look in their face. It's like they're standing in line at the post office. You know what I mean? You know? We're like, and, you know, because I got a story, you know, I got to tell a story to finish the sentence, you know?
Dude,
What the hell are you doing?
Well,
Nathan, we can only have one guest at a time.
y'all can hear that?
Yeah.
Hey, I got a story for you guys. Hang on. I got a story for you guys. I spent a little time on the border of Iowa, Minnesota, that area, you know, down towards. I was really close to Lake West Okoboji. I don't know if that makes a difference to anybody, but growing up, you know, here in Texas where we don't get a lot of snow and whatnot, you know, in the winter we wear our knit caps, you know, and I grew up calling them toboggans because that's what everybody else would call them, little toboggan hats, you know, right? So I'm up there in that area and the winter's coming and they put on, they have this huge winter, you know, gala, you know, coming towards the turn of winter where everybody goes down and they trade all their winter stuff for other people's winter stuff and whatever. So they said, you want to go? I said, yeah. I said, I need a few things. He said, yeah, what do you need? So I need this and that and a toboggan. And they said, what are you going to do with toboggan? So, you know, keep my head warm, you know, I'm going to wear it, you know, and they're just giggling and they're laughing and they really kept this going. I mean, they brought other people in the room. What do you need down there, Mela? I got to get this and that and a toboggan. Find out what the fuck is going on. They said, how are you going to put a toboggan on your head? I said, well, it's a hat. It's going to keep my hair warm. They know a toboggan's a sled. And it is, yeah.
Well, I've heard them called both because I kind of went through the same thing. I've always called it a toboggan. And then when I moved, we were done traveling and we were done with the whole Germany thing. And I moved down here to Florida and they call it a beanie here. Now I know there's a difference between a toboggan and a beanie, but I don't hear the word toboggan down here. I hear beanie. But now, for what it's worth, I live in fucking Florida, so there ain't a whole lot of people walking around with toboggans or fucking beanies. But what do they call it in South Carolina? Is it a toboggan or is it a beanie?
I think it's a beanie. I'm pretty sure.
Well, see, here a beanie is a bandana.
Well, see,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
there's a
bandana.
difference. I think a toboggan is long. Like if you pulled that sumbitch down, it would cover your whole face.
No, a toboggan is the one with the pom-pom thing on top.
Well, I don't think my papa was wearing toboggans with pom-poms on top.
Pom-pom,
But,
like
you
a
know,
little ball thing. You know, I say pom-pom because it looks like a pom-pom. A little poofy ball on top.
But a beanie is just like a skull cap, right?
Mm.
yeah.
So
Not
That's
a
right.
skull cap like the Jewish people wear, but like
a
What are those called?
a yarmulke. Yeah.
So do you think that people think that a Southern accent means they're uneducated?
You know, I've never. Listen, there's a lot of things that you encounter when you're from the South and you head on out to other places, which I advise everybody to do. Don't ever, if you're unable to not leave, you know, the place where you've been your whole life, then by all means, take your mind and go out. You know, there's definitely the internet now and that helps, you know, but you can have a worldly mind and never leave but once you get out and about and you start getting around with other people, there can be some incidences, you know, not so much where I think they think you're uneducated, but, you know, I smile a lot. And I don't know if it's a Southern thing or it's a me thing, but I smile a lot. And, you know, I'm often calling people honey or darling and everything. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's gotten me in more trouble than anything else. You know, because not every place wants to make eye contact. And if you smile, you're engaging and they're thinking something completely different. But, you know, the only real, like, it's been from, I'm not going to lie to you, I've been welcomed in almost every place I've ever been. But women are, and that's a whole other topic, but women have been the only ones that's ever received me in a raw way. And, you know, like bringing up customer service industry, and you know what, I had a lot of my female friends kind of talking to me about this, and you mentioned it, bring this up. You know, it's happened to me once, and it's happened to them a couple of times, but when you work in customer service industry from the South, you call everybody, hey, darling, how you doing? You need anything else? Hey, sweetie, you want another beer? That kind of stuff. And it's just who we are. It's what we do. But you get to venturing out beyond the South, and bitches be thinking you trying to take their men. Yeah. You know? You know, and you're like, darling, I apologize. That's not my intention at all. I'm from the South. We call everybody honey and sweetie, and you know, and you know, but they catch these attitudes, and you know, by the end of the conversation, you're saying, well, look, darling, I'll call you ma'am while I'm whooping your fucking ass, okay?
Yeah, Red calls everybody darling.
Yeah.
Just,
Don't you, darling?
I sure do, sugar butt.
Sugar butt? Come on.
That's just. I mean, that's Southern
Sugar
charm.
riches.
I mean, I don't mean nothing by it. When I call you darling, when I order something from McDonald's, I'm calling the lady behind the speaker darling.
Yep.
I don't.
Yeah.
And it's not. And I'm like Paycheck. I have somewhat of a flirtatious personality. I don't mean nothing by it, but I'm nice to everybody until you're not nice to me. You know what I mean? So it's just the way I was raised. I call everybody darling, honey, sugar, baby, even. So I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, and some people might be taken aback by it. They might not like it, but that's just who I am. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time. Just, you know, mostly when obviously when I'm speaking to females, I don't call my buddies baby and darling and sugar, you know. But it happens, and I don't even really do what?
It happens all the time. I talk to Red daily. Mostly, you know, we have our good conversation on his lunch break. So his lunch break consists of this motherfucker eats out every day. And every day I hear him telling somebody over that fucking speaker, calling him darling. So real quick, on this little survey that they did, they also added which, let's see, how can I word this? As Americans as a whole, what accent do Americans find the most attractive?
That's got to be on a personal level. I love a Boston or Northeast. I love a Northeast accent.
Just for this one, think globally. So
globally.
So pick somewhere other than, you know, let's remove the southern and the northern. You know, let's say Americans as a whole. In regards to different countries, what accent would you think that Americans find to be the most attractive?
Americans as a whole? Well, I can't guarantee that they have the same taste I do, but they're probably going to pick something like Italian because they think it's sexy. But that's not what I would pick. I love the Irish.
Red, what do you think?
America as a whole, I'm gonna say the French.
Really?
Yeah, because it's romantic. It's like Mela said, it's a sexy romantic language. But I'm also kind of partial to the Irish accent, or maybe even
Scottish.
Scottish.
It's Scottish. Okay. Get it right. Scottish.
But mostly coming from the females. I love a good an Irish accent coming from an Irish woman. There's something about it. It's sexy. It gets my engines revving. I mean, I just like it.
Well, give us your best Irish accent, Red.
Nah, I'm not gonna do that, man. I'll butcher it. Not very good at accents. And I do take a liking to, just out of pure curiosity and humor, I do like the soccer hooligan lingo coming from the Scottish and the Irish. soccer hooligans have a specific way that they talk for some reason. I don't know why, but
because it's got that ghetto, that hood mentality.
Yeah.
Now, do they call themselves soccer hooligans, guys? Because isn't over there, isn't
Red
it
is completely
football?
wrong. Absolutely. Good job, man.
And, wait a minute, hold on.
Red is not culture.
Called football?
Yeah, everywhere except for the United States, it's called football.
Yeah. Foot. It's actually foot with the two dots. You know, foot.
I would agree with both of y'all. I do. I find the Irish intriguing, the Scottish, but the answer that this survey gave after asking all these people was Americans find the British accent to be the most attractive.
See, I find the British accent to be annoying.
There goes a good eighth of our listeners right there, bro.
I mean, if we're being honest here, like I think it's. I'm not gonna go as far as say nails on a chalkboard annoying, but it's. I think this is on a personal level. I'm not speaking for Paycheck and Red as an entity. I'm talking about.
You're damn right. You're damn right. Don't loop me.
I just don't. I think it's. I don't know, man. It's just aggravating to me because I don't understand. I mean, some of the terminology they use and some of the words and how they say them, it's just aggravating. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, do you know what they call a cigarette over there in England?
I do. Fag.
Fags.
Yep. So if you didn't.
All the time.
So if you didn't know that and you were in England and you were at a bar and somebody asked you if you wanted to go outside and smoke a fag, that would mean something completely different to us.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Because here in America, Red don't smoke no fags.
Yeah, I got one for you. So my son, we were talking about cussing and things like that. My son came in just a couple years ago, because, kids getting smarter by the minute. He said, just out of the blue, walked right in the room, looked right at me, pointed that finger, and said, so let me get this straight. You're saying if I was in Ireland, I could say shit, but not shite? I said, pretty much. So here he says shite.
You bring up a good point. So do your kids, we all have kids, do your kids inherently pick up a Southern drawl, or is it something that they learn from you and in school and society, or do you think it's something that, I'm assuming that they would just pick up on whatever you say, right?
Well, I do pretty good at exposing my children to all types of things. I believe in diversity and I believe in a worldly mind, but I'll be honest with you. If you're asking me if they have an accent, how would I know?
Yeah.
I mean, they sound like me.
Well, I can tell you that you definitely have a damn accent.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Red, your kids, because you were in, y'all grew up in South Carolina, and now you're in West Virginia. What kind of accent do your youngins have? Do they have a West Virginian accent, or do they have a South Carolina accent?
Well, my youngins, they have a Southern accent. We haven't been up here long enough to acquire a West Virginia accent. And me personally, I refuse to talk like West Virginians. Nothing against them.
How is it different?
Like, for instance, and it's just small things. Like, for instance, the word phone, like a cellular device, grandma's ring-a-ding dial thing on the wall, a phone. Mm-hmm. A phone. Around here in West Virginia, it would be called a phone. I refuse to talk like that. That's
you mentioned dip a while back in one of our conversations. So we call it dipping. You mentioned that in West Virginia they call it something else, right?
Yeah, they call it rubbing.
Rubbing?
Yeah, rubbing snuff.
Mela, what they call dipping in Texas?
Well, my Papa Rocky, he called it dipping snuff, and he did until he was in his 90s.
My granny did that too. Matter of fact, they had to hide it from her because she got Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
She'd stick dip in her mouth because she forgot she had dip in her mouth. All right, well, shoot, that's an episode right there. We're at the 50-minute mark.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys.
We enjoyed it, Mela. We enjoyed it thoroughly.
So I'd like to have her back. I think she added a lot to it. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'd love to come back.
So Red, just for those who have been living on the rock since April, you want to tell them where they can find us at?
Yeah. We are on Facebook at Paycheck and Red. We are on Twitter at Paycheck and Red. We are on Instagram at Paycheck and Red Podcast. We're on the majority of podcast listening platforms. Conversations with Paycheck and Red. We're on YouTube. We are on mainly, we get our most downloads and listens from Apple Podcasts. So those of you that are listening on Apple Podcasts, go leave us a kind word and a 5-star review. We're actually doing a little contest right now that we're going to pick a random comment from our Apple Podcast reviews and give away a T-shirt. Questions, comments, concerns, email paycheckandred@yahoo.com. We have a Patreon account. Kind of help us better this podcast and make it better for our listeners and our fans out there. It's Patreon / Paycheck and Red for $1, just as little as a one-time buy of $1. We'll shout you out on the podcast. We were doing voicemails, but we couldn't work out the logistics on that one to nail down anything, so we switched it over to shout out. So for $1, we will shout you out on the podcast.
Yeah, because Red didn't think y'all liked the idea of us having all y'all's phone numbers.
Right. Yeah.
Because I was gonna send nudes.
Yeah.
And Mela, real quick, to say thank you for joining us today. We're working on some more shirts and some stickers. So forward us, your mailing address and everything, and we'll get you some a T-shirt and some stickers and whatnot out there to you ASAP.
Absolutely. Thank
All right,
you.
is that it?
I believe so.
All right, that's it. See ya.
Later.
Later.